So it has been revealed by GB News that asylum seekers receive a payment totaling almost 160 million through a
Mm.
government debit card system last year. Darren, what do you think of this?
I mean, Jess, I think first of all, I should probably say, the likes of Ukrainians and Hong Kongers who came here in large numbers, right, genuinely seeking shelter from either bombs or Chinese communist tyranny, losing the right to protest and things like that, being told by Chinese CCP backed cops that actually you've lost your freedoms and liberties that the UK said it would guarantee. I think we do have a moral obligation to look after the interests of those people. Obviously, I don't suggest that we go to war with China, Jess. I'm pretty certain that you don't think we should do that either. I think that would be suicide. But where we can help these people, I think we should. We said we would, and we're a country that stands by our commitments. But I tell you where that support is being undermined. That support is being undermined by those abusing the system to come here illegally for bed, board, and benefits and exploit the generosity of British taxpayers. Because asylum seekers, as you say, payments of almost 160 million quid through, and it's a government debit card system last year. Well, with GB News saying that, where it's basically in a nutshell, in a sweet little package. If you're British, right, if you're unable to heat your home thanks to the net zero policies and all that idiocy, if you're paying your taxes but you're still unable to see your doctor, and honestly getting through to the receptionist at the doctor is like trying to break into Fort Knox. You'd have more luck, I think, these days stealing the crown jewels. Well, seeing a dentist, even, as I say, kids being unable to actually go and get their teeth checked, rotten teeth and all the rest of it, unable to actually access an NHS dentist. And I could go on. Taxpayers are being milked like they've never been milked before. But they're not receiving any dividends from that taxpayer cash. It's just going to this bottomless pit. And one of those bottomless pits is an £160 million direct debit scheme to these asylum seekers. Now, as I said at the start there, I've got time for certain people coming here who need to seek genuine refuge. But I do not have time, and I do not think it should ever be the case that we allow those who come here illegally over the English Channel, who say they're seeking asylum, who want to get lost in the system, I don't think they should ever, Jess, be eligible for taxpayer cash, right? When they've got such scant regard for the laws of this land. You watching this show, why should you be expected to cough up your hard earned money to those who may, well, not share our values? They certainly don't share the values of law and order. Why should you be expected to give benefits to those that are, in this country struggling right now? Not to those people, but to those who ultimately break the law. Because charity ought to start at home, Jess. And that means saying no to those who abuse the system. That's what I wish our government should start doing. That way, I think we'd have more public support for those who genuinely do need a home to seek away from bombs, from Chinese tyranny, and all the rest of it.
It's so sad because you see people out on the street, homeless people out on the street, or just young people being unable to afford a home. Meanwhile, the government is able to give millions of pounds for Albanians to come over and seek asylum. When Albania is a safe country, why are they coming over? It's ridiculous. This isn't a good use of taxpayer money, nor is it moral or fair to the British taxpayer.
Absolutely not. And until we get real and accept that, paying the French an ever growing number of millions to actually solve this issue, then we're not going to tackle it, right? And we need to understand, Rishi Sunak needs to understand that actually it's growing a backbone. And actually today, Jess, is 3 years on since we actually formally left the EU. It's about using the gains of Brexit to utilise our own sovereignty, to overrule foreign courts that don't want us to have border controls. And this won't end until we do that, until we have politicians with the mettle to actually get this done. People are going to continue coming here, and that includes those without a right to be here. And that it means that taxpayer cash is going to be handed over with ever increasing sums. We're talking bigger numbers are going to come here in 2023 than they did in 2022, and that was a record year. And ultimately, those that wish us harm are going to potentially come over here too. Not everyone that comes over here in a dinghy is coming over here to get involved in British life, Jess. I can tell you that for free. So I think we need to get real, and until politicians do that, well, we're going to be the mugs of Europe, because that's what we are, Jess, mugs.